Hello, this is Longhorn Lester. I can hear you. You're coming in loud and clear. Yes, we do have food. We have medical supplies and first aid. And we have luxury items and mosquito netting. Oh, but we don't allow folks on our property. Good luck on your travels. And you should have planned ahead. Hey folks, Lester here. And this morning I'm working in the largest of the buildings here. And I don't really know what to call this place. I think we're going to call it the barndominium. Because of the kitchenette area and of course the little bathroom area, washer and dryer. I can't call it the barn because as you can see in the far background, that's my cow barn. You know, we built that about a month ago. I can't call it the garage because we have a garage where I'm storing the tractor, lawnmower, four-wheeler, and all of those kind of things, my tools over there. But we are here in what I'm going to start calling the barndominium, and I want to show you what I'm doing today. All right, so before I tell you a whole lot about what we're doing in here today, I want to show you where this barndominium sets in relation to the property. So looking out the right side, you have Jamie's little garden area, the little flower beds. You have the river off in the distance. We have that drop-off gorge right over here. And then, of course, we have my hammock, my prayer area, my prayer place right over there. Over on this side, we're going to have the little orchard. And, of course, that's where I'm building all the fencing for the ostriches and the few goats we're going to bring over. Now, if we turn around and walk behind me, you know that on this side, we have our driveway. That leads out of the property. We're going to have the cows over on this side over here. The red stuff over there is the clay. That's lining the pond, the future pond, barn and garage and whatnot. This over here is a very open side of the property. The other side is, fairly wooded. So what I'm doing in here today is something that Jamie and I have talked about a lot. And I'm going to, first of all, preface this by saying that we are not, I'm going to air quote, preppers. But guys, we live in a day and age where we worry. We worry about the what-if scenarios. And so Jamie and I have taken it upon ourselves to start compiling a couple of things to have for one of those just-in-case scenarios, a way that we can help sustain our family if by some chance the power grid goes down, communications go down, shipping goes down, food shortages, And so what we've done, we've bought these very heavy aluminum. These are industrial strength aluminum racks. We've also bought some stainless racks that are on wheels. And we're going to start putting some of our staple foods into here. So a lot of people are going to look at what we're doing here and they're going to say things like, that's absurd. Lester, taking those kind of precautions at that kind of a large scale, that's kooky, Lester. Don't be one of those kookies. But you do know that living here in the Gulf Coast region of Texas, we are often, everyone knows you should always have 5 to 7 days of food and things that are stored up for those natural disasters in the form of hurricanes that we have quite often. So if we already know that we should all have 5 to 7 days of things for a just-in-case scenario of a hurricane, which we get several times a year, why wouldn't it make sense to go a little bit larger scale when you have a larger family and you know that it could very well not be a hurricane, but some kind of global catastrophe that we could all face? My grandpa, I love him. Listen, this is my mama's dad. He's gone now. But every time we would sit down and we'd be watching the news, and you would be kind of like hearing things that were kind of a doomsday type scenario, my grandpa would always sit back with his cup of coffee. He loved coffee. And he'd say, hey, I ain't got to worry about that. Lord's going to come take me away. He's going to come rapture me to heaven before he's going to put me through stuff like that. And I guess a lot of people around, buy into stuff like that, and that's great. It helps kind of put your mind at ease. It helps you to relax and sleep well at night. But it wasn't the Lord that come and raptured my grandpa from dementia and Alzheimer's, which is what got him. It wasn't the rapture that kept my grandma from dying the way she died there in the tripped and fell in her own bathroom, bumped her head on the counter, and laid there and bled to death. That wasn't the Lord's rapture that took them. And so I understand that you have a lot of people that are going to disagree with things like this. But I'm not asking you to participate and to join in and do it. I'm just showing you what we're doing. And I enjoy watching the channels of the people who prep for different kinds of scenarios. And so that's all we're doing is we have the space available. We're going to obviously start the gardening and start doing more things here in nature with the orchard, and I'm going to start fishing that river. And so Jamie wants to learn how to can. She wants to learn how to preserve things that she grows from her garden or her orchard. She wants to learn those kind of things. And that's no different than what people used to do in the old days, except now we're going to start doing it in modern times. And a lot of folks are buying into the idea of slowly making your way out of the big cities, finding yourself a small piece of property. It doesn't have to be 20 acres, but just finding a way to self-sustain and take care of you and your family if, and I say if, something like that was to ever happen. So we've only got ourselves a few containers of storage supplies for now, but let me show you a little bit of what we have. Now we're going to try to keep everything in tote trays to keep mice and stuff out of it. But it's just basic stuff, y'all, like rice and sugar and flour and more rice and peanut butter. And each of these just have a variety of all kinds of stuff. Just soups and condiments, more rice. Rice is, to me, I told Jamie, I think rice is huge because that's the kind of stuff, look, beans, these are canned beans, chilies. I know we also have bags of beans. Yeah, there we go. We have bags of beans, bags of flour. So it's just kind of our own way of doing what we can do to... Now, these are all of our foods. I know we have more tote trays in the other garage of our medical supplies, our first aid supplies. But, hey, I mean, you never know, folks. You never know. Worst case scenario, you want to make sure that you give your family at least a fighting chance. And so we're going to stack some of these totes onto the shelf. Must have had one. Onto these shelves. I told Jamie that it looks like we have ourselves a warehouse. We're blessed to be so high off the water that this place is never going to flood. There's no chance this place could ever flood. We have a place to cook in the fact that we have the propane. We also have multiple propane gas burners for the small pits. I would love to show you our first aid kit and our camping supplies. Let me get those. This over here is an entire tote tray full of solar lighting. We have a case of disinfectants. Okay, so we also have solar powered radios. This is a little bit extreme. If you could only buy one thing, if you could only buy one thing for yourself, guys, buy a water straw. Listen, you can take this water straw, this has been unopened. You can take this water straw to any body of water and you can use it to literally suck water out of any body of water. And this over here is going to eliminate 99.9999999% of any kind of harmful germs or bacteria. Duct tape, mosquito netting, ponchos, adult ponchos. We have mosquito netting. My gosh, guys, it's pretty much everything. Look, these are solar powered battery cell blocks to charge your phone, not soap. Look, we have magnesium fire starters. So this is just one of the many boxes of supplies that we save. Another solar power battery radio. That's our two-way radios right there. We have hydrogen peroxide and a thing of rubbing alcohol. Don't know about y'all, but I cannot sleep without moving air. And so that right there is a solar-powered fan. You charge it by day and you sleep comfortably at night. We have more cooking supplies, lots and lots of mosquito netting. Because, guys, the most horrible thing in the world would be if you can't sleep because of mosquito netting. More of the portable camping fans. These are the little solar-powered one. Solar energy charged fans. I remember we sent a family message to the entire family on Messenger. And Jamie said that what our plan is, we're going to start storing some supplies and putting them in a really nice, secure, safe location. If anybody wants to be a part of this, then there's tons of space. There's tons of space in this big building. And out of the entire 33 people on that thread, boop, 0 people were interested. And that's fine. You know what? It kind of reminds me of that story about Henny Penny. But she was going to make some bread. And she went around the farm and she asked everybody to contribute to help her make the bread. And nobody wanted to help. Everybody had their own thing going. And that was just, I'm not going to do that, Henny Penny. Until the bread was made. And then everybody come by looking for a bite of that bread, looking for a piece of that delicious bread. I did not see any A1 sauce with our condiments. I saw ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. I did not see any A1 sauce, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Friends, I could eat a lizard off of that tree as long as there was A1 to dip that lizard into. Jamie, we're going to have to talk about this one. We are very blessed in the resources that not just our piece of property, but all of these thousands of acres in this river have to offer. And so I've always told Jamie that we would never deny anybody, family or friend or even acquaintance, a place to come and a place to go in a really worst case scenario. My only rule would be that everybody who's here has to pull their weight. Seriously, I'm not making that up, and I would have no problem exiling anybody. But I believe that there's a role that people can play, and I know that in all societies and as far as you want to go back in history, the only way mankind had ever advanced is when they begin to clan or group together, and everyone had to pull their own weight. And be it you become a fisherman, or if you're the person who cleans the fish, if you can go in those woods and hunt or trap, or if you want to go gather firewood, there has to be a place. If you want to come down to the river and wash clothes, it doesn't matter. But I believe that the more people you have who join together to help each other, be it from nighttime security, shepherds who could walk along with the animals and protect them, people who will maintain and watch out for the chickens, even if that means sleeping in the chicken coop at night. I mean, listen, there can be a place for everybody as long as you're willing to pull your weight. You know, friends, even though we, make lighthearted and comical videos, references to Henny Penny and the little SOS call for help from the walkie-talkies, this is actually a pretty serious thing, and I really do. I would really encourage everybody to do whatever you can, no matter if you're on a fixed income or if you have the resources but choose to spend them on funner things. I think that everybody should make a spot in your pantry, buy an extra bag of rice, a bag of beans, and just try to find a way to prepare just in case something was to ever happen. Always look for solar powered anything and everything, because that's the only guarantee. And bottled water, man, have some cases of bottled water. It costs almost nothing, but it could go a really long ways if you find yourself without. Oh, and I would say one last thing that's quite important. Don't forget to stockpile up on your favorite beverage. Mine, of course, a good old Dr. Pepper. And don't think we don't have several cases hid away. That's my own private stash.